Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast. A new version of my room today is behind me. It's kind of cluttery, but at least it's not a gray wall. I want to jump in here today and kind of have a more laid back podcast. A lot's been going on over the past few weeks. I had to go up to Portland, which is a city about 3 hours from me, to have both of our kids tested, our 7 and 8-year-old for celiac. They had some blood work that said it, and they just wanted upper GI confirmation, and we did get that confirmation. So that's a new revelation that's just fun, and let me just squeeze that into my daily life that, oh yes, we're now going to be celiac free home because you can't have your kids celiac free and mom and dad aren't. We'll see how it goes. We do have work where we can eat celiac or gluten, but we'll see how that goes. But one of the things I want to talk about is, like, last week I talked about decluttering small things. Don't take on huge projects when you don't have time. You can really do a lot. So a week ago, I believe it was a week ago, I decluttered my closet, and I did it in such a quick and fast way, and I am loving it. I put all the clothes, like everything that matched, so a shirt and a pant, or maybe a jumpsuit and a cover up that I want to wear together. I put it all together. So the benefits have been amazing, because every day I wake up, I'm like, perfect, I know what I have. I at least have 15 items, because I didn't think I had that much. I thought my closet was a shim sham of everything, but I actually had 15 outfits that I could wear. And I kept about 5 or 6 that are close to fitting, and then just like things like for special occasions, and then just general. I have a couple flannels, a couple other overcoats that don't particularly go with any one thing. They can go with everything. So I did all that, and it is amazing because I feel good when I wake up. I'm not stressed about what to wear because I have options. I do tend to wear the same things even out of that 15, so I need to mix it up a bit. And learning what my favorite clothes are, what feels good as I go through my health journey again. I've had some setbacks and I'm starting again, and really wanting to know what I feel comfortable in, so I want to wear it all the time. So that's been fun. The only downside to it is my husband. Yes, ladies, I am aware I have the most amazing husband. He does all of our laundry. He does put in everybody's room to put away, so we all put away our own laundry, which, I mean, that's like the worst part. But he sometimes will help by hanging up my clothes, and I was in my closet and I'm like, oh no, he's messed it all up. So I told him, I go, I thank you for doing that, but you can't hang up any of my clothes anymore because it messes my system up. I did tell him if he needs to, because, you know, kids and cats and all that on the bed, he can hang them up in this one section so that I know, okay, if anything's there, I need to parse it out. But so good and bad of it. And with any organization system, you do have to test it out for at least a month, sometimes more, because of the fact that things change, like me not always putting my clothes away, things I didn't think about with my system. And, you know, we think a system works great, but when people in our life and our world tend to want these things, want to help. Sorry, my cat started wanting to be in the room. You know, when other people are using our systems that A, don't know how to use them, B, yeah, they just don't know how to use them, they're going to affect those things. And so that's why doing things more, when the goals when you're decluttering, oh my gosh, when you're decluttering, you have to try things for longer than a month. If you have really young kids, you're probably going to be decluttering and organizing like 100 times, because I remember my kids were little, I had organized everything perfectly at their height, and then they kept getting taller and taller and getting in things, so I had to keep moving things up that I didn't want them to get in. So don't be discouraged if you declutter something and within a week or two it's back to the way it was. You just have to dissect it and figure out, why was it back that way? What happened? Who didn't help? What were you not thinking of when you're doing these decluttering projects? So I always say, when organizing, decluttering, don't get discouraged. It is a long process. It is not something you're going to fix overnight. So keep up the organizing projects. Let me know what you've done. We'll get into some more of that soon with all of that. All right. So one of the things I figured out, again, reminded myself on the way to this trip, is the fact that when you're leaving, and it wasn't in a hurry, but we really didn't know what the time of the test would be until they happened. And so we kind of left, like in a day, I was like, okay, now I gotta get all my stuff together because we're leaving. We didn't know what time. But one thing I was reminded of, why I always like to keep an inbox zero and really keep my email cleaned up, is when you have spur of the moment trips, or you want to do things in the spur of the moment, your email can really be a mess. And so mine was a complete mess. As I'm getting ready to leave town, I'm looking through the waves and waves of email that I have. And I stopped using my system. My system works, but you have to do it. It's not something you can set and forget. So I this week have on my list, I need to declutter my email again. I've signed up for things. I've, tried to do things that I may want to read. I have this idea that I have so much time to read emails. And so I got bogged down and almost missed something really important that had a deadline of Friday that I ended up doing like Wednesday evening as we're on our way out of town because I almost missed it. So that's why, you think like email's not a big deal, but it is, because there is good chunks of things in there that we absolutely need. Now, I do have a couple emails. So when I've started signing up for things, like when I'm entering a freebie or something I might be interested, I do try to use my junk email. But the problem with that is it just allows me to sign up for everything without any real thought process to what I want to bring into my life. And while it just seems easy to have that other email, I really just want to be curating things that mean something to me and not cluttering my life for the sake of clutter. So when I sign up for something, I make it go to my main email, because if I don't have time to set it up and follow through with it, then I shouldn't even be signing up for it. And that's kind of what I want, is don't get all these emails and now you have junk emails, and it's just more clutter that, you have to deal with in one way or another. So really unsubscribe from so many things. And sometimes I will sign up for something that's junk. I just immediately unsubscribe once I get what I need out of it. Maybe I want a freebie download and I have to get my email, and then I'm on their email list. Well, the next one or two emails, if it's not interesting me, I unsubscribe. So really keep that email close to possible as inbox zero. A really good thing I heard the other day is don't go into your email if you're not ready to make decisions, because how often do we go into our emails and consistently check them and read the same ones over and over again because we're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that right now. So never check your email if you're not in the decision-making mood, because what happens is, what my email is now is, I have been in there going, okay, I don't want to deal with that. I'll pick and choose, and now I have like 30 emails that I didn't want to deal with, and now it's like, oh, now I finally got to deal with those. So, don't let your social media your email get decluttered, because that's just another space where you feel like is overwhelming. And then when you really need to pick out and choose some things that need to get done, you cannot find them because they're cluttered with all the stuff that you have signed up for that just get in the way of things. And I have a hard time because I love people and I have some people that I follow, and I have unsubscribed from their email because I just don't read it. And so I'm not doing them a service by, getting it because they think, oh, this is information that I'm using. I'm not. So by unsubscribing, at least lets them know, oh, this person didn't want to hear that information. Maybe I need to regroup on what I'm doing. And then again, don't let it be personal. It's like, it's okay to unsubscribe. It really is. They probably won't even know if they have enough subscribers, so don't worry about it. And then the third thing I want to talk about is taking a break. We had to go for our kids' appointments this week. It's 3 hours away. We needed to be there the night before because we didn't know what time the procedures would be on Thursday. Luckily we did, because they ended up being at 9 a.m., which we found out Tuesday afternoon when they would be. And then I decided, you know what, let's go. We're gonna be in our town. There's a zoo, there's a science museum, there's all these fun things in that town. So let's just take 3 nights. So we stayed there 3 nights. We played in the pool. We had a blast. It was a really good hotel pool, which was, had the water things and all that. It was really fun. Had a blast and just a break from life. I did take some work with me because I was promised that Thursday after the procedures they would have some downtime. They did not. They were like maybe the car ride back to the hotel for a little bit. We forced them to rest for a little bit, and then we went and spent like 2 hours in the pool. So no rest for the weary here. But it really reminded me how precious time is, and we have to take the time. I had no business being able to take time off work right now. I have way too many things going on, some big things that I just could not step away from, but I did. And did the world fall apart? No. 99% of the time, it will not. So really think about people you were missing. We hadn't spent, good time. We spent time with our kids, but just some good alone time where work stress and all that, I have great staff that I can take away some time and not have to deal with the day to day. I still had to do, I had to listen to a Zoom meeting. I had to check my email a little bit. I had to respond to some people, but I did it very quickly, got in, and then got off my email and didn't check it for hours. Checked it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. So I just quickly recap and archive what I don't need, so that when I do come back to work on Monday, my email is not a disaster from not being on it for 2.5 days during the work week. But life is so precious, and I think we learn this every day, yet how quickly we forget it. We learned in COVID how much we should spend time with family, and now it's like that didn't even happen. It's like a blink of an eye, that's gone, and we forget, oh yeah, my parents are aging, people are getting older than I know, life is rough, you never know when something's going to happen. And so by spending time with my family and putting work second was one of the better decisions I've made in a long time. And I want to really encourage you to think about things that you should be doing. When's the last time you saw your parents? When's the last time you spent like a good time with your kids where there's not homework and chores? And maybe I'll be able to afford to go to another city, but could you take the day, literally from the time you get up to the day, that you go do something fun, you go to a park, you go skiing, whatever you want to do together, but you spend the day as a family together, go visit somebody, whatever it is, just really take that time to be intentional. And I know my podcast this last couple weeks were supposed to be decluttering, but I felt like we needed to declutter some things to make time for life and family, and making sure that, if have no regrets, tomorrow is never promised. And so do you want to wake up next week and go, oh, I didn't see my parents, and one of them, let's be drastic here, passed away, but man, I showed up to work every day and did my job. Life is fleeting. And I know not everybody, I'm obviously a boss, so I can take time away, but even as an employee, it's important to really take time away for yourself as well. And that might look differently as an employee. You might have to say, I can only do it at night. I'm at a job where I can't take off time until like another month or two, but you have evenings, you have days off. Really make those count. It might make your week a little longer and more tired, but it's not every week that you're doing it. And so make those weeks count. The times count, and we actually have a ton more time than we think about. We'll probably do a time calendar on here because I love those, because when I first did it, I'm like, I have no time, I'm so busy. Then I started going, oh, I have a ton of time. And where's that time going? Probably wasting time watching TV, social media, all of that time. So if you are an employee, you're going to have to be, a little more strategic of where you can find these little spots. And it may not be a whole day. It might be 2 hours, but that 2 hours is time that you set aside to go have a meal with somebody, to go on a walk with somebody, that is going to make a difference in your life by spending that time with loved ones. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Just getting out there, making sure you're having fun with family, getting out, spending time with one another, taking the time. Would love to hear what keeps you from taking the time. I'm working on a project for burnout. I've mentioned probably several times on here. And so anytime you've had burnout or are in burnout currently, message me. I'd love to walk you through and get some of your ideas that you went through and see how I can help. And then also work on my continued speech for burnout. I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me. It has been a hard task getting these going. I have found out I don't have a lot of upload speed, and that is my problem. So that is why my videos currently are unedited, as I just don't have the bandwidth to upload at my house. So while I work on that and figure that out, you will just get these unedited YouTube podcasts. I am putting them on Spotify as well. So bear with me over the next couple months as I learn how to better upload these, record them, and then upload them on the websites, because YouTube's pretty quick, Spotify takes a while, and then it may take so long that my cat steps on the computer and deletes my progress. So I appreciate you so much for being here. Please message me. I can take brutal honesty with what you're loving about the podcast, what you would wish I could talk more about, and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate you all. Go have a blessed day and take care.